Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Made some progress with some things. Still have not found my GoPro mount. I don't know where I put that, but I'm still looking for it. Yeah, it is vanished. I haven't had a chance to get one yet. Yeah, it's been a while since I put out a video. Just been hectic trying to help family and get some things squared away for my father-in-law. So we've been busy the past month. It's been insane. So I did get some parts for this axle because I finally figured out what it is. So this is a 1936 era Hudson Terraplane axle. So this is from generation before the Hudson Hornets and everything, all the cool Hudsons, but it would have had radius arms there. It would have had a really trick setup for the suspension, but we're going to be using it with the Model A style radius arms that I have already. But the brakes are right here. And for some reason, I'm missing the hardware to hold the anti-vibration hardware that's supposed to sit in here. So that's annoying. But these are, let's see, I have part numbers right here. So the rotors are from a 97 Mercury Grand Marquis. Calipers and pads are from a 86 Buick Regal. And I see those part numbers. Anyways, got them from Rock Auto. They're pretty cheap. And then these brackets are from Speedway Motors. For the calipers, there's the weld-on brackets, but what I'm gonna do is back here build a plate that comes over the top of this and slides over, and then this caliper bracket will mount in and get welded in. And then to convert from the lug bolts to lug studs, I'm using Willwood's lug studs. This is what they use on their hubs when you buy a brake kit. So same thread pitch as what was originally on here. Once I get going on this, I'll Loctite them in and torque them down. But these are pretty stout. We've had no issues with them. I got the 3-inch because I didn't know how much room I was gonna have and didn't have a chance to really measure it all. But yeah, I'm a little irritated I don't have the hardware, but it is what it is. Well, there's one. Huh. It's weird. Anyways, that's not anything super important. It's just didn't get it with this one. Whatever. Anyways, it's like $4 worth of parts, so it's not a big deal. Recently gutted the cats on the Ranger because it clogged up, but haven't made any progress on this. Haven't had a chance to sit down with the welder, get this put together. But now that I got my disc brakes and everything, I can really get going on that. But today we're gonna work on the 57. And what we're gonna be doing is putting a 1-inch spacer under the carburetor. I apologize for my long-winded intros if it gets annoying. I just figured give people updates on what I'm doing. That way they don't think the channel dies anytime that I just disappear for a little bit. All 20 viewers. But and I appreciate you guys viewing the videos, those that do appreciate it. The reason we're going to put a 1-inch spacer on this is give it a little bit more even atomization on the dual plane here. And give me a chance to really dial in the timing, because the startup's a little rough. And it doesn't run rough, it just, when you go to crank it over, it's almost like you got your foot on the, or you got it in gear and it's just wanting to stall out, and so the timing's too advanced at startup. So I gotta get it where it's happy, and then I can adjust my vacuum advance or my weights in that distributor. But I might be switching it over to MSD so that I can have a box mounted in the fender well like over here, and get this thing really dialed in, because for as low horsepower it is, I say low, I mean that in a general sense, is 345 horsepower and about 350 foot-pounds of torque, so it's 1-to-1 just about, which is great. If you can get 1-to-1 out of an engine, that's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna get this 1-inch spacer on here and go from there. Need to grab a 1/2-inch wrench and get this shit going. It's all that fun stuff. So don't do this and just assume that it's gonna be perfect. Get those tightened down in a minute. This last nut and washer. Well, just done that because I already put a washer over there, but get that guy. Sorry if I'm blocking your way. We got our vacuum advance. Our PCV. It's not a bad idea to hook up a PCV. Help your seals last longer, prevent them from blowing out as easy. Relieves a lot of the pressure on the crankcase. It's their primary goal. So if you don't like them, you don't like them. It's totally fine with me. I'm probably gonna have to extend this little tube. So. I do have fuel lines, so. And here we are. It is smaller than the diameter of this stuff, but it'll help it bite. The last thing we want right now are vacuum leaks. It's gonna take some effort, but it'll fit. There we go. We need not that much. Sure, y'all cringed at me cutting on this car, but I didn't even scratch it, so we are golden. And we'll shove it on this side. It's roughly an inch longer, which makes sense because we spaced it out an inch. But main thing is you want it to sit comfortably. I need to shorten it up just. Ugh. If you can get these to sit relaxed without any tension on them, they won't vibrate out of the hole. Normally have a good seat, but you just want them to sit where they're happy. So this one, kind of sitting crooked because I need to shorten it up another ½ inch or so. So, just creeping up on it little by little. It's the main thing. That time I scratched it. Whoops. And I still have yet to hook up this cooling fan. I've been so busy. And there we go. Nice, relaxed, positive fit. We got it sitting where it's not gonna vibrate out of there or rattle loose. And that's the key to it, is making sure it's going to be in a good spot. And I put this throttle return spring on the wrong one. That's why it's always important to check your linkage before you fire this thing up. Pretty much on any engine. You just want to verify that what you got is not going to bind up or lock open, hang up anywhere. You don't have any wires that are going to rub through, cause a short. Really critical. Make sure your throttle is happy, because you won't be happy when this thing goes wide open and stays wide open. And you end up doing 120 unintentionally because you're trying to stop an engine that's just full bore. So, just make sure your springs are oriented correctly, your throttle's returning to idle properly, and yes, I've flooded this thing, but we also gotta redo the timing, so I'm not terribly worried about it being flooded. You don't need to kill the carburetor smashing it down. It's all aluminum. Some of them may even be brass, depending on the era you're working on. You want them good and snug so that it's got a nice seal. The engine's always going to be pulling down on it. So, a couple heat cycles, you might want to just go check the nuts. Make sure that they returns to idle, but make sure that they stay tight, because the gaskets will compress a little bit. I'll show you on this one. Take you over here. You can see the indent from that metal ring. Sorry, it's indentation, carburetor indentations. They do compress, so you want to make sure that they stay snug, but you don't need to hammer them down so tight that you rip all the studs out of the intake, because that would suck. It would be the last thing I would want to do. Rip out all the studs. Same goes for intake gaskets, exhaust gaskets, pretty much any of those Velcro style. They will compress a little bit. Lost a stud. But this was that spacer, quote unquote, plate that he had on there. Not sure what the purpose of an all metal one is, but that's what that was there. All right, that's all functioning correctly. And then back here is the, I want to say it's a 1/2 inch. I might be wrong, it might be a 9/16, but that's where the distributor hold down is. And of course, I don't have the GM wrench specific for that. I need to get one, I just haven't done it. There's a lot of things that I need to do and just haven't had a chance to do. It gets tight back here, especially on a belair. And it is a 9/16. So we will loosen this up. Distributors, you don't need to kill them either when you crank them down. They can move if you loosen them up and start the engine. So I'll kick it this way. But the way the wedge clamps down is it's kind of spring loaded-ish. So when you get them snug, just make sure you can't turn it by hand. And it shouldn't be able to turn on its own. Then you'll have a good seal on the bottom. But fire this thing up, clear it out, set some timing. We'll do startup timing first, because it's very important on this car, because it'll shred the starter off the bottom of it if you're not careful. And I know some of y'all are gonna cringe with this car and how dirty it is and how it's been mistreated, but it really hasn't. Where I live, it's nothing but sand. Ugh, all right. Oh. She's in neutral, clutch in. That's what I was worried about. So now, I have a timing light and all that, but we need to back the advance down. You can hear the engine start to slow down, retarding the timing. You hear it smooth out and speed up, we're advancing it. So we want it about there. Let's go see how she starts up. Basically, we're trying to get it to fire appropriately with these Vortec heads. And you see how easy that was? And that's what I was talking about the tuning is going to change. So we need more squirt air for it, which is totally fine. That's not a hard thing to deal with. But we also need to bump the idle up, because she's idling too low. And I know it sounds cool and all, but the engine speed is too slow relative to the speed that we want it. I just take this and bump it up. Much better. In fact, the idle mixture out a little bit if I can. Just an eighth of a turn. Just give her a little bit more fuel at idle. Much better. Now let's see how it starts. Clutch in. Starts right up without fighting. And that's what we want when we lock it down. We've got to make sure that it stays that way. And that's we don't need to just slam it down as hard as we can. We want it snug, but we don't want it moving. And so we'll do that right now once I find my 9/16. It's my half. Oh, it's in my other pocket. All right. Now, we lock it down without moving it, which is probably going to be tricky just because I'm right next to this vacuum booster, or not vacuum booster, the vacuum advance. And if I snag it with the wrench, I have enough leverage to move it around, and that'll throw my timing off. And I just barely squeak underneath that thing, so. And that's snug. Make sure we can't turn it. It's locked down. It's not so tight that it'll bust your knuckles when you take it off. Now let's check the startup one more time. Perfect. And we're idling around 450, 550. So it's perfect for a standard car. And it's also still cold, so we're gonna have some popping, which I don't like. I may add a little bit more fuel. Probably just gonna need more squirter sooner. Yeah, we're gonna need more squirter. Not a big deal. I'll just get the next size up and go from there. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Try and get more videos out consistently as much as I can. I'm trying. But if you were wondering, this is where your accelerator pump is, and it's actuated by there's a cam on the underside of the throttle linkage that will, when you hit the gas, it pushes down on this lever, doing this, and then it'll push down on this, giving you squirter. And I might have a bad accelerator pump, I don't know yet, but I may take a little drill bit, open it up just a touch. It just needs a little bit more fuel. It's not a severe lean pop, but I will see you guys in the next one.